You can talk to me. I'm your father. There's an emotional side of me that you don't get to see. I want you to show that to me so I can show you, because at the end of the day, it's like I didn't get that growing up.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mental Uplift Podcast, where we talk about mental health, self-care, and everything life related. I'm your host Joey, and today I am joining two amazing fathers here for our Father Day special. I'm here with Jorge and Danny.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be diving into the topic of just fathers in general. Trying to touch base on our experiences that we've had as, basically kind of fresh fathers, because we all have children that are in the young toddler stage,
Yeah.
borderline newborn stage for some of us. So we just want to kind of share the experiences that we've gone through to help touch even just one person, so that their experience could be even the slightest bit better, than what we had, that we wish, some advice that we wish we kind of would have had um, as new fathers. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it.
Is there?
All right. So the first question that I have is in regards to our upbringing, to kind of talk about in what ways did our upbringing influence our parenting style. So I could go first to kind of give you an example on what I mean. So for my father in general, he is not a perfect father, and he knows that. And growing up, he wasn't a perfect kid, and he knows that. But he never hid that from me. Like, you know how sometimes, you get a father figure and you think you have to be perfect, you have to show the kid, like, you got to walk like this and talk like this, and
Yeah.
this is how you got to do it, and that's just it. My dad, I feel like his take on showing me what's right and wrong was telling me I did this wrong. I
Right.
used to do this. I did this. Don't do it. I don't want to see you go down that path. Like, just straight out tell me, like, just what it was. And I feel like I appreciate that a lot, that he was honest with me and open. Like, even though the stuff that he would tell me, like, I thought he was cool, but as a kid, you think anything's cool. But he was able to really kind of tell me, especially when I was at, the right age where I could really understand what he was telling me, so that I can grow and do what he didn't do, in some aspects, so that I wouldn't have to go through the same mistakes that he did, which was very great for me. And I feel like it I implement that in my life. Right now, it's a little bit different because my kids are still a little bit young, so they wouldn't understand anything I tell them about mistakes wise. But it's like I'm carrying that with me. Like, I know as they grow, I'm gonna be open. I'm gonna share my flaws, and I'm gonna just make sure that they know what I did wrong and that I'm not perfect, so that they don't feel they have to be perfect.
So you're saying like you're gonna replicate to a degree
Yeah,
what he did for you,
yeah.
for your kids.
Yeah, because I feel like that helped me. I feel like it helped me, so I'm hoping that it would help them too, the same way he kind of did for me. So that's how that kind of influenced that part of my fatherhood, because I'm trying to be a little bit like that, to give them the good experience that I received in regards to that.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I'll go now. I'll say my dad growing up, there wasn't really a lot of conversation. Like all the things that you saying your dad told you to avoid this, don't do that. I feel like my dad didn't really have those conversations with me. So like even like birds and bees and stuff like that, like
Mhm.
those man to boy conversations, like I've never gotten any of those
Yeah.
conversations.
I can agree on that with you.
You know
Never
what I
had it.
mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like with my father, there was always sort of a disconnect. Because he was like, I wouldn't call him insensitive, but I will say that, you know, he just figured everything was cool and everything was good, like kosher.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like he was available for me to go and have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, let's say if you walking in the house and you stub your toe on a step or something like that. You're like, damn, my toe, my toe. You're like, oh yeah, you good. Like get over it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah,
I feel like he didn't open that door for me to like talk to him about things, and we didn't really do anything as a kid. I didn't do anything as a kid. So like, let's say, going places, having experiences, things like that. Like he never took me anywhere. We didn't really go anywhere unless it was like with his friends, so you can drink and party while I was having fun. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So how that relates to me being a father, I try to be the most active father I possibly can be. I'll get home from work. I wouldn't hop on a sofa, put on a movie, and just let everything rock out while I'm enjoying the movie. Like, no, I'll get home before I even use the bathroom, before I even do anything, saying hi to my kids, playing with my kids, interacting with my kids.
yeah,
And if that goes on for an hour or two, that's cool. I'll do that before I do anything else.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. That's real good.
So I'm where you're saying you're following in your father's footsteps in that regard.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be the opposite of my
yeah,
father in that regard. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
No, it definitely be like that a lot, but that's
mm,
like that's how why I feel with every situation in general that you take on as just a man in general is beneficial for you in the future
yeah,
because you're either going to learn that what you just experienced is a good experience or you're going to learn that it was a bad experience and you're going to use that to mold who you are. So like in your case, like you took that and you didn't want that experience for your kids,
yeah,
so you're changing that, you're allowing it to mold you and influence your parenthood. So it's like every situation that you go through is just like you go through that for a reason.
100%.
Yeah,
Like
Mm,
mine was with you. Like
yeah,
you had the father, but he wasn't there. Me, I didn't have one. So mine's just left when I was little. Tried to come back into my life. Didn't work out right. Grown up problems. Wasn't able to know. What I try to implement from that is do to my son what wasn't done to me. Be there. Show him emotion. Try to show him like, hey, there's stuff to where daddy didn't get to do this. So if I get angry, I'm good, or you get angry, and if I yell at you, I'm gonna walk up to you and sit you down. He's only 4, but as a boy, you want to implement that into your son. Like, hey, you can talk to me. I'm your father. There's an emotional side of me that you don't get to see. I want you to show that to me so I can show you because at the end of the day, it's like I didn't get that growing up. So I
yeah,
want to give that. I want to get that with you. I want to have that
yeah,
emotional support. Like if something, say when they get older, our boys they get their first heartbroken. Come to dad. I know mom is there to love you a lot, but I want to have that talk. I want to be like, I used to feel that. I was there with you, but you
yeah,
have me to show you a great advice and
yeah,
lift you up. Like, hey, there's more in the world than just you feeling alone. You're not alone
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Us to that question feels like you had your dad. You learned from it. Your dad was with you. You didn't get to learn a lot from it, but you implement your own learning. Me not having him, hearing this with you guys is I'm doing something that your dad did. He's implementing your rights or wrong. You're telling yourself spend more time with your kids. That's what I want to do.
yeah,
So you two putting that in your life, it's like, wow, I guess sometimes even not having a father, you are being the father you want to be.
yeah,
Because you hear it from your friends, your peers. You didn't have a father. I didn't know that. Now that we're talking, it's like, I know you better now. Because it's like, damn, I
yeah,
thought I would feel different. Because he had a dad, you had a dad, I didn't have a dad.
yeah,
But when you hear it, you have your father, you didn't have your father, but he was there, and then I didn't have mine that isn't there. It's like everything comes together
yeah,
at that point for me. It's like
exactly.
I feel happy about it. It's like, yo, I'm showing
Yeah,
Isaac something different. Like, hey, you learn your rules with your father. Like, hey, I didn't have that emotion. I want to have that with my son. You learn the but right or wrong, you're still gonna have that with your kids because it's like,
yeah,
hey, we get those talks.
yeah, for
That's what I want to
sure.
do with mine. Like, show that they're to grow more.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like just like you said, that shows three different
Mm-hmm.
people, three different walks of life. Like we all have different experiences and we're all able, like honestly, all of our ways of parenting style I feel like are all very similar. So even though we all came from different walks of life, different parent styles, we all kind of know what we want for our kids and we stand tall on that. And we all make sure that we do what we got to do to get that done.
It's the
So
love.
that's
When
good.
you look at what we're talking about, it's the love. Oh, our
Yeah,
love is
yeah,
different. It's like you said to help a younger generation. Some people that might be younger than us. Some of us didn't get that love, and we want to give that love. It's like, yo, we have our kids now. You're experiencing that from us.
yeah,
There goes a great love that you could have that we learned from.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
So then that moves us into the next part
Don't
of
cry on me. You hear me getting choked?
Good. We good.
so that moves us into then the next part where we talk about what are some of the challenging aspects of being a dad.
Oof. I got yeah. Like for me, the most challenging thing is feeling like. Now I believe we talked about this before, but I feel like it's like you as a man, you want to provide for your family, right? You want to make sure they're good.
Mhm.
My kids need something, I want to make sure they'll be able to get it. My wife needs something, I want to make sure she's able to get it. But I feel like in order to provide, you have to be out of the house. You know what I mean? And it's like there comes a balance because you want to work your 40 hours, and if you need to, you want to be able to do the OT. But the more OT you do, the less time you're there with your family. Like like it's a lot of families where the dad is present, he's the provider, but there's always a disconnect between him and his kids because he's never home. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
kids are always with mom.
Yeah.
Dad's not home. So for me, it's like, you know, I put my kids first, bro, before anything. You know what I mean? I want to be a provider. I want to provide for my kids, and that takes me being out the house. But I'd rather go home on time than stay for that OT, just because I feel like even now, because my kids are 1 and 2 years old. I don't want to miss those
Yeah.
steps. Anything that happens with my kids, I want to be there.
Mhm.
The special moments you want to, like, yo, there's, how when we miss something small, Brittany will call you, your fiance will call you, or they'll call me like, yo, you missed this. Like, I was only gone for like an hour. What happened? You don't want to do that every day you work.
Yeah.
Like, I had that talk with Jose too. He was telling me doing a lot of overtime is taking you away from family time, from godly time. And it's like, I realized that in 2 months. I stopped doing overtime. And I told myself once a month, that's not once a month, but like every other 2 months doesn't hurt. So like next week I will be doing overtime. But now that we're talking about it, I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm gonna miss a lot of stuff. It's gonna be in the 80s. I want to go home and have fun with them.
Yeah.
Like, I want to enjoy stuff.
Bro, summer is the hardest time to do overtime.
Yeah.
That you want to get out and go. It's
I
gonna be
feel you.
the
Yo,
sun is gonna be up.
not to cut you off, like when my first son was born, I used to work at a place where I had to be on call 24 hours from Friday to Friday. And there's been plenty of times like where I missed Easter one year. I missed a lot of things because they'll call my phone and I'll have to just get up and go.
Okay.
And that was hard, bro.
That hits you. You're like,
I changed my job and everything, bro. Like I couldn't do it anymore. Like the money was great and all, but money isn't everything.
Yeah.
And me being my kids, bro, that's number one, bro.
Yeah. That's definitely something my dad used to tell me when I was younger. It's like, because he was that, like, main provider who was like always exactly like you, always trying to be there, but also trying to make sure that there's enough for the family to, run.
Yeah.
And he always used to talk about, like, it's the hardest decision to make when you're balancing wanting more money to make sure your family's good, but then also wanting to be there for your family to make sure your family's good.
And it's the guilt, bro. You know how much guilt I be feeling when like my kids are home, my wife is even like waking up in the morning to go to work, bro.
And
You wake up in the morning, wife sleeping, kids are sleeping, and you like, dang, bro, like I gotta really leave right now to go work. And it's not that I hate my job, but it's like, bro, like it's just I hate not being home, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like some days you see like they're off because they got a doctor appointment. Like they will take them. And you're like, man, we gotta go to work. Like, why can't we do that sometimes? Why can't we get off of you to enjoy just one of those tedious days? It ain't tedious to us. It may seem like it is, but I feel like it's not. Like, it's one of those days to where like we know we're here, but we're with you guys. That's what that matters. We're with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So what would you say to somebody who is about to be a new father but has a very demanding job? Like, that balance. Like, I feel like you touched base on the guilt. How would you kind of classify that guilt and navigate that guilt, I guess to better say?
I would say for one, I'm a very logical thinker. So I'll put it in these terms, like, if you have a son or a daughter, they will only be 1 years old one time, bro. You know what I mean? They will only take their first steps one time. There's a lot of milestones that kids have that are one time things.
Yeah.
With your job, yeah, you need the money, you know what I mean, for the family. Yeah, you need to support your family. Yeah, you got to be the provider. But at the end of the day, dude, like you go to work and you mess up, they'll fire you. And guess what? You're replaced, bro. It's not the same thing with your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't just hit the rewind button on your kids.
Yeah.
And that's
can't start over
that's
if
the
someone
main thing
goes.
I think about, bro.
Yeah.
No, it's like you to add on to that, like you said, hey, I found a new job when we talked earlier. To tell people that find something that even if you know you're making money off of, make sure your job understands your priorities.
Yes, sir.
I have a
Yeah.
job to where it's tedious, but at least they know family comes first. Like if there was an emergency, I'm running out the door and they know that. They don't have to ask the question. They'll just come the next day, hey, is everything okay? I got you a note. This is what happened. That's it. It's always good to tell yourself, if I don't have the job that cares for my family more than they would care for me, why do I want to be here sometimes?
Yeah.
Like, it's great money, good, but it's a scary thought because it's like you just said, you're irreplaceable. You need a job that's willing to tell you, hey, we'll follow the big guy, but at the same time, we know you have a priority to take because you communicate with us. That's
Yeah.
all. Like, find something to where anything is communicative and feels safe around you, not something, oh man, they're letting all these people go. Because this has been happening in my job. They've been letting a lot of people go and it gets scary. Managers and everything. But make sure you tell yourself, I'm okay. They know my problems. I communicate
Yeah.
sometimes. Big thing on that, just communicate.
Yeah. 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 I feel like that definitely is good. I feel like in regards to like the question for me, the hardest part, most challenging part is being a leader. I feel like right now, like just being a dad, being a husband, I'm getting into the season of shifting from a kid to the leader of a household. And it's weird. Like I feel like I'm a kid still. Like who let me be in charge of these
Yeah.
people's lives? And it's something that's like it's so big, and I'm like really trying to navigate. Like even the small things, like what are we about to do today or something like that, or like where are we gonna eat? If like you obviously don't want to take control, but like sometimes I'll ask Brittany and she doesn't know. And like lately, I've just kind of kicking into myself, like, all right, she doesn't know, she doesn't have like any care. Let me just decide for us and let's go. Like making small decisions to making big decisions, like the financial decisions and stuff like that. Like it's just get stepping into the role of being a leader. I feel like for me has been a little bit challenging because it kind of scares me a little bit. Like
They're with you on that part. The financial part. That's where I'm at. That's the leader role, and it's scary. You don't. I never been financially stable until you talk to me about things. So I have other friends on me, but then it's like I'm finally putting my foot down to be that person, and it's you get scared because you get little arguments, and if you don't get little arguments, you don't know what to tell. Just like to add on to them, add a significant other. That's what I had this week. I don't know how to speak to you about these things as a man with those things. Like it's scary.
Well, for me, I feel like a lot of my issues involving communication stem from when I was a kid because I never had that door open to me to communicate. So I feel like now, yeah, we try to change for our kids and tell them that you can communicate with me. I'm your father. I'm your number one supporter. But it's hard to break out of those chains that you're in when you're a kid, bro. You know what I mean? Like sometimes me and my wife, we have our disputes, and it's hard for me to like get my point across without letting my emotions get the best of me in the moment. You know what I mean? Just because I don't know how to navigate the tough conversations. I could sit here and talk lightly all day. Oh, how's the weather? Oh, did you see that car? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Then when it's down to the the nitty gritty issues, it's hard, bro.
You
I go
rowdiness come out of nowhere, and if not, you're like, I don't know what to say. Like I really don't know what to say. Like it feels hard being the leader because you put yourself in a position to where it's like, how can I communicate this with my significant other sometimes?
Yeah.
And that's it. For me.
Yeah, and and the biggest thing about it is, being the leader of a household is up to us to draw that line. Like if we're having a dispute, me and my wife, or man and woman, whatever the case is, you being the leader, you have to be like, okay, let's calm down, let's take a minute, let's regain ourselves, and let's continue with this conversation level headed. You know, it's hard for me to do that because I'm doing my own things.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to snap out of that and be like, all right, yeah, we're going back and forth right now. We're not getting anywhere. Let's chill. So it's for me, I can understand what you're saying about is a little scary to be a leader. It's uncharted territory.
Yeah.
And we're trying to put on for our family, put on for our wives, our significant others, while still trying to figure out ourselves.
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah, no, that definitely is like, and then on top of all of that, it's like I low key feel like I'm in charge of these people's salvations, like these kids' salvations. It's like, I'm supposed to build this kid up to be righteous and everything. It's like, I gotta make sure I'm a good leader so that they can be led in the right direction. So it's overall it's crazy.
So that for young folks, the scary part comes when you start thinking about school.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys know it. Trust me, I started 3 days ago. I was talking with my coworker. It's like, hey, dude, have you looked at any schools? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you only got a year left. I'm like, why am I looking at now? He's like, because now apparently some schools, they're in a raffle. You have to go in person to pick up the packets, or you know how some schools are, they like to know the whole family. Like, hey, what's happening here? What ages? What do you bring here to your kid to learn? And I'm just like, there's a lot of stuff now. Like back then, it was just my mom taking me.
Vicious, bro. My coworker. Now that you say that, it's funny because my coworker earlier just got a text from his wife.
Yeah.
And that their daughter was accepted in the lottery for public school.
Oh,
like, he's in Jersey.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, we talking about lottery. He's like, bro, we had to apply. We waited for a couple weeks, and we just got it.
Yeah, it's the whole process. I don't even want to think about that, yo. That's definitely hard, but it is something that's important to think about, though.
The scary part is the schedule. That's where I'm leaving it at. The schedule. That's it. It's different now. Yeah, no longer 8 hours, y'all.
Oh,
for school,
listen, bro. So I've been the only person in my household working for the past few years, and my wife just recently got a job, went full time. So I could tell you about schedules, bro. Because before I used to wake up, everybody be asleep. I'll leave and they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Now I have to wake up and get kids ready. Now I have to wake up at 5 a.m, getting kids ready, changing diapers and this and that, and taking them to grandma's house before I go to work.
Yeah.
And that's it's over 8 hours.
That was my dad. So you got a lot of similar lines with my dad. My dad used to have to wake up, take the kids to grandma's house and stuff. Yeah.
To touch on that aspect that I didn't get to touch on with you guys, my hardest challenge is potty training right now. It's been going on for literally a year. Sometimes you don't get to know your kid as a parent, like what goes on with their body. So I'm having trouble with the back end area to where he doesn't speak. I tried a lot. Anger is one of my biggest things. And I'm trying to touch down so heavy on that, not to get him angry. Like show him like, yo, like I'm trying to work on that for him, for my son. That's my biggest challenging thing, because one of my coworkers says, yo, you got to be bipolar. I could be, because Keanu sometimes does the same thing, the way my anger comes. But I try to show my son different. As soon as I get angry, I feel like I get too routed and black out. With him, I'm trying to tell myself, go back over there and say, hey, man, it's possible. I'm sorry daddy got this way, but this is how we got to learn.
Yeah.
So my challenging aspect to this is just take it easy when it comes to potty training.
Yeah, patience.
Some people say, a lot of women do it themselves. But when you have the father around, it makes it easier. And I heard it from one of my coworkers. You are their hero when you're teaching them this part, because they're looking at you in that way. And that's a very hard challenge, because you as yourself sometimes feel like, I'm a little comfortable. I'm like a man, like you're a kid, but you're also my son, so I have to teach you these things. On that part,
you, bro. I'm going through that stage right now with my son too. And at the end of the day, I feel like it could definitely be very frustrating. You know what I mean? But you gotta understand, everybody learns at their own pace.
Yeah.
All kids are different, And then as far as the sensitivity aspect of it, bro, you just gotta be 1,000% open, bro. You know what I mean? Like we expect our children to be 1,000% open with us.
Okay.
So I would just say, just try to be 1,000% open with him. Like with my son, I'm teaching him how to, use the potty and stuff like that. He stands up. I gotta show him how to hold himself, make sure he cleans himself very well, keep hygiene. And that's just something that, it's weird, because sometimes it is, you feel like it's weird, but it's something they have to know. And if they don't learn from you, who else are they going to learn it from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard though.
That's good for me, because I feel like I try to stop the anger, and I'm hygienic. Keanu said, I don't know how to say the word.
But it's like,
my own vocabulary. Someone who's has high hygiene. I clean out at home, so
like
she doesn't
germaphobe.
Yeah, so she doesn't get how, like, when it comes to him, I get scared when he should be my son. I should be like, yo, you should already know this. Here you go, cleaning and everything. When that's how I am. Like I have to be clean. I wake up. She's like, dude, you take 3 showers. Yeah, what you talking about? Like, I take my 3 showers a day. Leave me alone. That's me.
For me, that potty training was a little bit different because I have a daughter right now who is basically kind of out of the potty training stage. She's a pro at it now,
Hey.
but for me, it's like she would do something wrong and I'll be there and I'm like, yo, Brittany, teach your daughter how to use the bathroom. I don't know what to do. It's like, I'm like, yo, because there was at one point in time where it's like, she basically was like not doing it the right way, but I couldn't show her how to do it the right way because I'm not a female. I don't know how females use the bathroom. So it was like I had to just keep grabbing Brittany, like, yo, show her how to do this. She's not doing it right, and I don't know what to tell her. So that was a little bit different for me. So I'm looking forward to taking your advice for the males for when Ezra grow up.
Cereal. I keep getting told cereal. I tried it. It worked a little bit.
Cereal?
Yes.
Cereal?
Honey nut cereals. Not endorsing. You just throw it in there and you tell them just to aim it. So when you hit it, it sinks apparently.
Yeah. Turn it into a game.
Well, right now my son's at the stage where he can't really aim it yet.
Mhm.
So he's on a stool in front of the toilet.
Does he go like this? Like tries to go like that?
Somewhat.
That's what my
so I have him holding the back of the toilet
Mhm.
and just leaning over. I'm like, just keep your body straight. And it's gonna go straight. Just,
That's what we choose to believe, but
Yeah.
you're like,
but not gonna hold you with little boys, bro.
Mhm.
You know, there's a lot of times where we're on the road. He has
Yeah.
to use the bathroom, and I just tell him just
Yeah.
we actually had that accident once, and she handled that. I was stuck on this paying for something, and I told her, "You want me to go?" She said, "No, I got it." She goes to the car. It's like, "Oh, I thought we had an emergency pull up because of the problem he's having." She said, "We didn't have any, so I had to open both doors and tell him go."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Oh, I missed my moment because that's a dad moment. That wasn't a mom moment."
Yeah, be like that. All right, so moving forward into the next portion is in regards to taking it back to pregnancy days.
Okay.
So for pregnancy, I want to talk about the pregnancy. So we're going to talk about the pregnancy process in the point of view of a father, and then the postpartum process in the point of view of a father. So, like for me, in regards to the pregnancy, especially like I'm gonna speak about the first one because that was the that's the one. Is like this is the first time you're seeing somebody pregnant 24/7. It's your job to take care of that pregnant person 24/7. So for me, it was like crazy. I was like happy, obviously, but then scared at the same time, and like I didn't know what to do. I feel like the most challenging part for me was the throw up. I'm not a throw up person. So I remember one time Brittany was throwing up and she threw up like in our kitchen. And I'm trying to be, the nice boyfriend at that time. And I'm like, go ahead, I got you. I'll clean it up. I grab a towel and I'm like starting to clean it up and stuff. But I'm starting to throw up. And then I had to go run outside. And then I come back and try to clean it up again, and I'm starting to throw it up again, and I gotta go back and run outside.
Oh man,
I'm just like, and it was real hard for me. But I think she ended up having to clean it up. So
You were like, nope.
That's crazy, bro.
Bro, it's just like if you know me when I was younger, me trying was a lot. And Brittany knows that. So me trying was a lot because I would like, bro. There was one time I was in school, not sick at all, no problem. Some kid randomly came into my class and threw up in the
trash can thing.
Yeah, in the trash can, and I didn't see it, but because I heard it, I threw up.
No way, it's like that.
It was bad. I've been good lately, but it was that bad. Just for hearing throw up.
That means you get the thing where someone goes, you know how they get that baby birth for that sound? It probably passes on to you quick.
Yeah, it was really bad. So I went home and everything, but I kept trying to tell him I'm not sick. I just saw him throw up. So yeah, it was like really bad for me.
There's got to be a word for that.
Bro, I threw up in my when I was at my dad's house one time. I was like feeling sick, but I was really hungry. I took one Cocoa Puff and ate one Cocoa Puff and started throwing up in the sink. And my dad tried to make me clean up. And I kept telling him, I'm not going to be able to clean this up. You make it worse for yourself. I kept throwing up.
Where were you at when I was 16 for Mischief Night?
He ended up having to clean it. But it's like I was really bad. So that was like one of the hardest things for me because, obviously they get nauseous
Morning
all the
sickness.
time. So like that's like almost every day I'm
Mhm.
struggling myself while trying to help her, and I kind of felt bad. Like,
No, bro. I know what you're saying because when G was in her first trimester for Ezra, we had COVID, bro. And she was going through morning sickness with COVID. So, you know, we were pooping our brains out,
Ugh.
throwing up, couldn't eat, couldn't do it. We both had it.
Yeah,
Cold
that's
sweats, you
crazy.
name it, bro. And on top of that, like for her, bro, when she was barfing, it was crazy because nothing was coming out. It was just the sounds because we
Yeah,
couldn't eat. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that was hard, bro. That was hard. I would say another thing about the pregnancy that was hard was feeling disconnected from my son. You know what I mean? Like while she's,
yes,
you know, she's pregnant, she's feeling the bond, you
Mhm.
know, because the baby's growing inside of her.
yeah,
For me, I just didn't feel like it was real, bro.
yeah,
Up until the birth.
Nah.
yeah,
Like even when he was born, he came out. I just thought I was dreaming, bro.
yeah.
So
It be like that,
that's
and then yeah, sorry, not to mean to cut you off,
bro.
but that's so good because it really is like that a lot. So like, just know if like if you somebody who's watching this and you currently have a pregnant partner who is who you feel disconnected with when it comes to the child, you're not alone for sure. I feel like there will be times where, you know, obviously since the baby is inside, the female feels the kicks earlier than anyone on the
Yeah.
outside could feel. And Brittany would be like, "Oh, feel this, feel this." And I got to one point where I was like, "Bro, stop telling me to feel it because I don't feel nothing." And I was mad, like, and I took it out on her a little bit, but I was just mad because it's like I want to be excited, I want to feel the kick, and it's my first kid, and I'm like, "Oh yeah," like, you know, at first I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, let me feel." I don't feel nothing, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me feel." Nah, I don't feel
You
nothing.
be too late to the party,
Yeah,
bro. He's skating. You like, yeah.
That-
Thumb, bro.
bro, but it wasn't even at that point though. It was even
No,
before where it's like you
the
could just feel it internally.
little tiny
Yeah.
ones.
When you only feel it internally, and I'm just like, bro, I don't feel it. Stop telling me
That's cool.
and I just felt like that's one of my biggest points where I felt disconnected because it's like I don't know this kid. I don't feel this kid. It's like I don't see this kid. It's like there's nothing tangible that you can try to hold on to other than the aspect of just like knowing that that kid is yours and it's going to come soon. But it's just like really hard to get attached to something that you don't see or feel or hear. I feel like once I started to feel the actual kicks is when I kind of that's when I got a little bit more sense of like, dang, there's a human in there that's mine. And it still wasn't 100%, obviously.
Damn, I waited to the heartbeat.
Really?
Yeah, my touch up on that was we weren't living together.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was missing out a lot on the kicks and all that stuff. But I made sure every appointment she had, you knew that I was going to. I didn't care if I had to
Yeah.
leave early. I didn't care what I had to do. I was
Yeah.
going to. I heard the heartbeat. That's where I felt like I started getting closer. I was like, yo, there's really a life inside of you. Like,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun. And it was through COVID time.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed in the hospital. I heard it in the car. She hanged up, bawled, just
Really?
cried. I was like, oh, yo. I was
Yeah.
just tears.
That's crazy. I feel like even with like feeling her belly, the bumps, boom,
Mhm.
boom. I just always felt like I was dreaming, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was dreaming. Like, yeah, I'm having a son. You know what I mean? Like I feel him, but it's like he's not here yet.
Yeah,
You know?
They
yeah.
just wanted
It's
to
like
give the
it's
full.
just so hard, bro. That
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I think that's like our postpartum. Like I didn't get it towards after she got pregnant. I feel like I got it while she was pregnant because it's like you're enjoying that whole entire moment. I'm not with you a lot. I didn't start living with Kiani until like I think 2 months before Isaac was about to be born.
Really?
So
you-
that's when I started to experience every like kicks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
So that really intimate. Like I feel like one of the
yeah,
best times was when we were like, you know, laid up at night on bed and stuff. You really didn't get to feel that until the end.
yeah, and like her sending me the photos when she had the baby, like in the belly and everything. Like I was like, oh, that's my woman looking good pregnant. But it's like, yo, you're not. Sometimes I live with my roommate. She lived with her mom at that time. It's like, yo, I'm like, damn, I would love to be here and you telling me he's kicking so I could feel it.
Yeah.
So I had to wait for the last 2 months for that to try to. Oh, instead of the heartbeat, nah, I'm really feeling you, buddy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
part again.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, bro. And then, so to switch it into the aftermath, the postpartum portion was, it was like a high at first because I just saw like the love of my life give going to labor, and that was like, wow, like that's Wonder Woman right there,
Like a
like
butterfly.
And
yeah.
I got told to be quiet that day.
No, so it was like it was a really crazy emotional experience. Like, bro, as soon as Ava came out, I just started crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was crying. I was like holding her. I started singing to her and everything. I was like doing a lullaby and stuff. And it
Hmm.
just like it changed. Like my heart just changed instantly. Then I was like I turned into to kind of like a helicopter parent slash white husband,
Hmm.
whereas like I was trying to do everything and I almost tried to do a little bit too much. Whereas like Brittany was like, "You're not letting me be a parent." Like I was trying to take over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was literally taking over anything I could possibly do. I would like take her from her because in my eyes, I think I'm helping. Like you just gave birth, you just did all this. Let me take this baby, but I was taking the baby a little bit too much and stuff. So it's like I really had to navigate a balance of helping versus taking over. So then that was kind of tricky. And then on top of that, postpartum for females is something that's highly spoken about and that's a big transition for them. And then on me on my end, I feel like I was at the back portion of that. Like you are going through postpartum because you just went through labor. Like, yeah, I get that. That is a lot. But I feel like as a father, you go through your version of postpartum
Hmm.
because it's like you also like no, you did not go through labor, but you still have to kind of help and be there for the aftermath of labor, which is very demanding and important too.
What? Demanding? Bro, listen, man. I felt like, when my wife gave birth, I didn't have that same situation as you because when Ezra was born, he had some complications. So they took him to the NICU. So we saw him the morning after. But once we got home, I had took 3 weeks off of work, not paid, not paid. I took three
Mhm.
weeks off of work, not paid. And with the first baby, G needed a lot of help after the fact. So I was taking care of my wife and taking care of the baby. And then, in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, like, it's real now, bro. That's when I had that to reality moment,
Yeah,
I guess, because
Yeah.
that's when it made the click. Like we brought this baby home.
yeah,
Like we were at the hospital giving birth to this baby, and then the NICU took him, gave him back to us, and they sent us home like, here.
Yeah. Learn your life.
Yeah,
Like
bro.
that's
So
this is yours. Here you go.
so for me, it's like, we get home and I'm taking care of G. She couldn't even go up the steps. You know what I mean? And I'm taking care of the baby, helping her with the baby. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, like, how we gonna make this work, bro? I'm thinking about a million different things in my head. I'm like, she's off for work. She's not working now. It's only me working. We have all these bills and mortgage, car note, like all this stuff. And it's like at the same time, I gotta make sure I'm there for her and there for my son. And I just feel like that's like for me, that was the make or break it moment for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
no, I'm locked in. Like, this is my life. This
yeah,
is my wife. This is my son. They come first. And it was murder she wrote
sorry
after
about
that.
that.
that definitely is a strong turning point where it's like, cause like I said, when you kind of first go through it's like it's very big, and you going home and stuff. You're not thinking about none of that stuff, but then once you get home, is when it starts to slowly creep in. Like life is waiting for me on the other end of this. Like this, I can only, like you said, you took off for 3 weeks. For Ava, I basically only had off a week
It's crazy.
because I didn't have a job. So I got fired from Home
Yeah.
Depot a month before Ava was born. I secured a job where I'm at now, but they needed a 4-week training, no gaps. So I couldn't start until after she was born because I knew there was going to be a gap because there's
Yeah.
no way I'm missing, my child's birth for training. So I secured the job, but I didn't start until after she was born. And the only like flexibility I had was 1 week after she was born.
Wow.
So I really only had a week. So in that small time frame, it's like I had all of my thoughts were gone for like a couple of days. But then already in the half of it, I'm thinking like, dang, I'm about to start work again soon. It's a new job. I gotta do training. I gotta do this. Like I just had off for a whole month of not working and stuff. So it really was like all starting to slowly creep in and stuff. Wow, again, like you said, you still have to be present and be there.
Give me flashbacks.
My version, it's crazy. Like, I'm sorry, but I feel like I didn't have one. Like, mine's felt. I have talked with my fiance a lot about it, and she always tells me it's like she missed being pregnant. That was the most thing she missed the most because it was just like comforting for her.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like I didn't even have one when he got here. I think my postpartum was missing my partner. Because when she was pregnant, I made sure we went out a lot. We were able to do everything. He came. We were both finally living together. She was doing her part. I was doing my part. We were both working. I feel like we missed out on each other through the first year. Because she talked to me about it. She was like, hey, we don't go on a dates anymore. We don't pay. Like, we just come home. We're parents. We talk. So, like, for my postpartum, it was like, I miss my partner. That's what it was for it. Like, I know I had a kid. It hit me, but it was like we didn't have enough time for each other after Isaac was born.
Yeah.
It was more so we jumped straight into it then. Hey, how are you, honey? Hey, how was work, honey? So it's like, oh, damn, I miss my. And like, I think it took a year and a half, 2 years and a half for us to realize, like, hey, we need to start making time for each other because this is not great. Like, we didn't, I promise you guys, not one date. Like, it was constantly home.
I believe.
Yeah, so that's what made me and my person like, yo, I miss my partner. Because while she was pregnant, oh man, like I get it. The first 3 months wasn't the greatest, but after that, we were on go. Anywhere was a date. We were happy together. Any appointment was great. Any dinner, any small thing, even just to hang out or talk about her being pregnant or her being on the baby was fine for us. But as soon as Isaac was born, we lost that.
Yeah,
so I
it's
think
like you get lost in being a parent. You jumping straight into being a parent, and you like you on dad mode. Then you forget about being on husband mode or boyfriend mode and stuff.
Or even for time for yourself, bro.
And she tells me that she's like, you don't take time to yourself a lot. You don't do nothing. Like when I hang out with you guys today, she's like, another one, great. Like we do that now. It's like, oh, I'm finally going out and enjoying things with peers, friends, able to like, oh, I'm getting out the house. It feels great. But even there, I'm just like, I miss my people right now. I want to go home right now.
No, it'd be like that.
I know that, bro. I'm a homebody like crazy, bro. If it was up to me, I'd be home every day.
And it's funny, I feel like our women don't understand that part because we got to a point where it's like we had our fun. Now that we're with you guys, we want to have it with you guys. And if we don't go nowhere, you may think it's boring, but yo, my fun is sitting on this couch where you're here reading your book and he's here watching TV or doing something crazy. And if you hear me yelling, that's still fun because we're in our home. We're in a spot to where there's no judging. There's no criticizing. Everybody has to have their respect, their love. And if something funny happens or something weird happens, what are you doing? You're my fiance. I'm here. I'm your husband. That's my son. Yeah, that's the husband. Like that. That's all.
Exactly. That's how it be. Like, bro, I'll be like, I work from home, so I'm working home all weekend, and I'm still ready to stay home. And then Brittany's like, yo, I want to get out of the house. I'm like, yo, me being at work is different from me chilling on the couch and you know watching a movie with you guys and stuff. It's like I'm always ready to sit down and watch a movie.
Yeah.
And the good thing about the movie is who talks the most in it. It's like, you know, there's always that one spot. I talk the most. Jose knows that. He's like, stop spoiling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to. Like, they don't get to see that side of us. And, like, I feel like when we show it, they turn away. And it's like, nah, you won't get it regardless. You asked for it. So, hello. Like, I try. I feel like Kiani knows me as a serious person. But she says I talk to everybody, so it's like I have to try to show her that outgoing side. Like, yo, I'm still that weird dude. Like, we went to Beyonce. There was a guy next to me. I kept up showing some kid apologizing. He was like, just find your rhythm. Like, I'm like this. Falling in love. She's like, there he goes. And I'm just staring at my woman like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we've had great conversations. I feel like a lot of people will be able to take from this. What out of everything we spoken about do you feel like is your favorite that you want somebody to hold on to?
To me is don't be afraid as a man to learn new things to teach your spouse and your child. You see us three, how we were raised different. Without a father in life, that field that wasn't there, with a father in life teaching you. Don't feel like you're alone. As a man to every man, you say this a lot to me. Don't feel like you're alone. You have your friends. And if you feel like your friend is similar to you, bring up that conversation. Don't be scared to, because you don't know everybody. And when you start knowing each other, it's like, yo, we're going through the same boat.
Yeah.
And we're telling each other to be better. We see each other being better. That should be something that should keep you happy, not make you feel like, oh, I didn't have a father and
Yeah.
they felt like that. No, open it up, open the conversation. So
The community.
yeah, that way your friends, anybody around you could just be like, he dealt with it too. And
Yeah.
if I could see my friend do it better, I should push to be better with them.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
not
good.
alone.
Yeah, that's definitely good. That's very accurate too. I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If I could leave somebody with this note right here, bro, it would be to stay. How do I say? Be like water. Be fluid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Change, adapt. Learn your kids. Your kids are not going to be the same kid 2 years ago than they will be 5 years from now. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Learn with your kids. Grow with your kids, and don't be afraid for your kids to correct you in certain things.
Heavy.
You know what I mean? Because growing up, my parents were never wrong. They were wrong in all the wrong ways, and they could never be corrected.
Sheesh. Yeah,
That's what I would leave with everybody.
that's crazy. Yeah, that definitely is. That's
That's a
like,
good advice.
yeah,
Because it leaves me to where it's like I was saying, I would get angry and I'll have to go back to Isaac and be like, Papa, I'm sorry. As you get older, I want him to be like, hey, Dad, you need to breathe real quick. I'm not saying it in a mean way. I'm like, okay, I can't get mad at you. You spoke to me
yeah,
and told me, okay, let me refix my words and come back to you and see how I can deal with this.
yeah. That's really good. That's like number one. I feel like now that you just changed my answer, I feel like
Yeah.
that definitely is a really good turning point. Like you don't have to be right just because you're the parent and that's the child. That doesn't make you automatically right at
Nope.
all.
Yeah.
So being open and able to adjust to saying like, you know what, you are right. Like you said, I was wrong. You're right. I'm sorry. Like, giving that sorry as a father, as a
Mm-hmm.
dad, like letting them know I'm sorry goes a long way. So definitely that I feel like that is one of the best things to take forward. Like, if you're a new dad getting into this, you're gonna mess up. You're not perfect. Just make sure you put everything out there. Be fully transparent with it with your wife, girlfriend, your child as they grow up. Just let them know who you are and let them know that you love them and that you're always gonna be there for them. I feel like that's definitely there. And what I want to leave you guys with is a little piece of the Bible. So the Bible highlights fathers' responsibilities in raising children, emphasizing guidance and discipline in Ephesians 6:4. I'm
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna read it verbatim here. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger by the way you treat them. Rather, bring them up with the discipline and instruction that comes from the Lord. So I feel like this falls into a little bit what I was saying about being a leader. I feel like this falls into like what you said about anger and stuff. Like, we want to raise our children to be righteous. So it's like, we need to raise them with leadership, with our own selves being righteous first. And, just take that with you and know that your task as being a father is to raise these children the right way. The Everyone's right way is different, but follow the right way in your heart, and that's all that matters. So I want to make sure I leave you guys with that because you guys are great fathers, and I'm proud of both of you. Definitely continue what you're doing, and you guys are going to be great. And your kids, like you said, your kids are a product of what
Your
you
image.
are and stuff. So your parenting will show in your kids as they grow up. So it definitely was good there. But all right, so I thank you guys so much for watching us here in this Father's Day episode.
Yes, sir.
Happy Father's Day to you if you're a father. I hope to see you again. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Please comment.
Blow up the button because we gotta beat the last video.
Comment anywhere, just let me know what you guys want to see, if this was great, well, anything you're able to take from this. Let us know. If you have any other questions, definitely let us know. I can connect with either of these guys. So if you have a specific question for any one of these that you feel you connect more with, I could connect you guys, or however that may look like. I can strongly say that everyone here cares about the people in this world, and everyone here would love to help. So thank you so much. Until next time, see you. Peace.